All right, y'all. So I'm going to show you really quick how to analyze all this data. So this is the first sheet that you have when you open, probably. There's some extra space here, so I'm going to make this smaller, kind of to make it more comfortable for me. This table that you see here is going to be very important. It's kind of like a summary of the different experimental groups. So the first thing I want you to notice is that there's multiple tabs down here. And those different tabs have different information. All right, so going back to the first one, this one tells you what group each monkey was put into, and how old they were and their sex, which you can use for further research later, for like further data analysis later. So this little table is very important. Keep that in mind. So the next one tells you which symptoms were present, and then you see over here that some monkeys had coughing and sneezing and some didn't. But it's kind of hard to remember what's going on. So maybe you want to, let me see if I remember how to do this. So I'm going to freeze the top row. That way, when we go back, we see that doesn't work. So then I can just kill this one if I don't like it, because I want to lock this one so I can see everything else. So I'm going to go to View, Freeze Panes, and then freeze the top. And then now it'll follow you. And then you still know that it's initial symptoms present because it's down here. So next up, you have the mortality, and this is going to tell you which monkeys die. And over here, you have which day they died on. So once again, I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to freeze panes. I'm on freeze top row. So it makes it easier for me to see everything. Now, let's look at the first hard data, and let's look at the coughings. That's a lot of data, and you're going to be looking at each group separately. So the first thing I would do is separate the groups. So again, we want to be able to lock the top row. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to make sure that I remember what my table is showing me. But I'm going to get rid of these top rows so I can lock this one. Again, you go to View, Freeze Panes, and you lock the top row, and that'll help you keep everything in order. I'm also going to mess with this a little bit so you can see the whole data in the screen when you're working on it. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to separate the groups, and I'm going to show you the analysis on this one. I'm going to show you how to do the graph, and then you guys are going to do the rest on your own. So over here is the end of my first group. I color coded them, because your teacher is a little bit obsessive. And I just go here to insert, and you add a new row. And this one is going to be my average. And, I want to differentiate it. So I'm going to bold it over here. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. So let's make it 14. So now you're going to use an Excel formula to calculate all these averages. Unless you really want to do it by hand, in which by all means go for it. So you're going to type equal average. And it's going to show this. And then it wants the range. So if you do Control Shift up, it's going to go all the way up. And just do one down so you don't include the day one. And then hit enter. And then this is the average of coughs per day for day one. Now I want to do the same thing for the rest, but I can just copy this one. So it has a little here. Let me show you how to do it again. Over here, it's got this little square looking thing on the bottom right corner. You're going to grab that and you're going to drag it until the end. and it's going to copy the same formula for everything else. So you don't have to type in the formula more than once. Okay, so I'm going to do this again for this one. You select, insert an extra row. I'm going to type averages over here. I fixed it. You're going to bold it over here, and then we put it at 14. So equals average. Nope. And then we select this one. I'm going to select my row. So now you can't do the whole thing, right? Because you don't want group 1. So I select all of group 2, hit enter, and now I have the average. So right off the bat, you see that this average is a lot bigger. And I still misspelled averages. Good job. Okay. So again, you go to the bottom right-hand side, you drag it along, and now I have the averages for all the days. All right, I got one more group that I need to analyze. So I go over here to select the whole row, click insert. I'm going to bold it, and I'm going to make it 14. So it's a little bit bigger. I'm going to write averages over here. And then you do equal averages. Average, sorry. And then we're going to select all of group 3. Oops, overdid it. Okay, hold on. See that it went too far. So again, equal averages, average, and you're going to select all of group 3, which is from 101 to 150, and then hit enter. And then I want to copy this to all the other rows. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on the bottom little square thing, and it'll tell me all the averages. I'm going to do down here, you have the averages for all of them, which aren't really useful. So I'm going to do, this is group 4 average. I think that's a better way to put it. And actually, I'm going to do the insert a row so it's the same color, nice and even. So I'm going to do group 4 average. And you're going to do the same thing, equal average. Select this one. And then you're going to select your data. A little too much. So that's group 3. And I want just group 4, 151 to 200. Selected it, and then you click enter, and now you have the average. I forgot to bold these and make them a little bit bigger. So let's do that. I'm just gonna do group 4 average. So, and then I can also make sure these all have borders just so it's nice and pretty. And then I drag just like before. And ta-da, now you have all the averages. Now it's going to be really hard to compare them and all that fun stuff. So we're going to do another thing. So I'm going to copy the top over here. And this is my summary table. So this is what like the analysis is going to be all about. Just going to copy this. And now I have day 1, day 2, whatever. And instead of the monkey ID, I'm going to do the group. So then I have group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. And then just for aesthetics purposes, I'm going to select it. I'm going to put it over here. And the averages I'm going to center. And I want them to be in boxes. So I'm going to put those boxes in. You want this to be in boxes again. So I'm going to put this over here. All right. So you already calculated the averages. So you can just do equal. And then I'm gonna, hold on. I'm gonna go further back a little bit so I can see more of it. And I'm gonna do equals again. And I'm gonna find the row where I have the averages, and I'm gonna put this. And you see that it put the data point over there. And the same thing, you're gonna drag, and it's gonna copy all the averages for that row. Then you're gonna do the same for group 2, equals, and I'm gonna find the averages for group 2. I'm gonna put it over here. Group 3, I do equal. Here are the averages for group 3. No, it's group 2. Here's the averages for group 3. And then the averages for group 4 are the very last group. So I'm going to put it over here. And again, you're going to put the little box and drag. Grab the little box and drag. One more time, grab the little box and drag. Okay, and now you have a table with all the averages, and this is very useful to graph. So I'm going to do the graph for this one. You're going to do insert. And then for this one, you're probably going to want to do something like a scatter plot. So it's going to give me something that looks like this, which is very nice. You have different types of scatters. I like this one better. So let's do this one. And then we're going to title it the same as this. So average coughs per day. I just copy it. I'm going to paste it over here. And that's the average coughs per day by group. And you can't really see group 1 very much, but it's very low, right? This is there. And then you can make it bigger, make it smaller, but that's it. And this is what you're going to copy and paste into the part that asks you for the graphs. You should have 4 graphs, one for the coughs, one for the fever, one's for the activity, and one for the appetite. Sorry, 5 graphs, and one for the weight. Sounds good?